Hello, Augies Worldwide. I'm Dave Casler, amateur radio call sign KE0OG, here with another episode of Ask Dave. Today's question comes from Zoran. He's 9 Alpha 3 Hotel Papa, and he is in Croatia, which is part of what used to be Yugoslavia. He has a question about CW. He says he's the only member of his club who does CW, and they have a radio club station over there. That is from when that whole area was part of the Soviet Union. The Soviet Union thought that ham radio was a sport and they ought to have local facilities for people to do this. And to this day, there's just lots and lots of Russian hams who grew up, competing for code speed and all of this kind of thing like that. And very interesting. So they still have a club station there. And one of the radios that he thinks he can use for CW is the ICOM 7300. But one of the problems is he can't tell what all the features are. Now, they're in the manual. I don't know if this manual has been translated into Croatian or not. This is the manual that comes with the radio. It's called the Basic Manual, and it covers a lot of the CW things, but not all of them. This right here is available on the CD that came with the radio, or you can download it from the ICOM website. It's the full manual, and it's about double the size of the other, and I went through this. What I did was created some charts that go step by step by step through the manual and cover everything that the unit does for CW, and it's quite a lot. It is got many features that I think some other radios don't have. So this is how we're going to do it. We're going to go through the manual section by section and take a look at what's in the manual and then do a demonstration of it. Then look at another chart about something else it does and then do a demonstration. The demonstration, of course, is with the ICOM 7300 that we have right here. Went through and demonstrated all of that stuff, and it's on this video for you. So you can sit back, enjoy, and learn all the cool things you can do on CW on an ICOM 7300. It's a pretty complete radio in regards to the thing that it does. Now, one of his questions I am not answering in this video has to do with the filtering. Narrow filters, wide filters, passband filters, all this kind of stuff. We'll get to that in another video. But for you, Zoran, this is for you. Have fun. Let's look at some charts. Chart 1, setting CW pitch. It's interesting to note that the frequency that is on the display is actually the frequency of the other signal coming in, totally zero beat on that signal. Now, in order for us to hear it, you need to offset the BFO a little bit so that when you listen to that, you'll hear a tone from that signal rather than just a complete zero beat. While you are receiving, it will offset the received signal by the CW pitch. That's what they call it, the CW pitch. So when you transmit, you're transmitting right on that frequency, 14050. But it is receiving the signal 500 hertz off from that, and this tells you how to set that. Now, this will be the pitch that you hear the other CW signal. And if you zero beat that pitch to the pitch of the incoming signal, the two of you will be transmitting on exactly the same frequency. Now, when I was young, it was often set at 1000 hertz, but these days 700 hertz seems popular, and it is popular to me too. So again, if you zero beat the other signal in such a way that your side tone and the tone from the other signal are the same, you will be right on top of each other and no problem chasing each other up and down the band. Okay, let's demonstrate that. We're supposed to be in CW mode, okay? And we're going to push the multi-knob, and CW pitch is the bottom one, so let's just pitch that. 700 hertz is this. If we like that a little lower, you can turn it a little lower. You might have trouble hearing higher pitches, or you can turn it up higher if you want. When I was first into ham radio, the common pitch was 1000 hertz. Nowadays, it's about 500. Chart number 2, setting the keyer speed. You can set the key speed. This is for a paddle, an electronic keyer. Paddles only, it does not affect the straight key. Now, you can set the speed, any speed that you want, between 6 and 48 words per minute. Now, you know, 1 or 2 people in the world might do 48 words per minute. 20 words per minute is a normal speed, or you might want to do 15 words a minute if you think that your code isn't quite up to where it should be. Rule of thumb, do not transmit your code any faster than you can copy the code, because the other station will tend to come back at you at the same speed. I have now put a set of paddles to the input, so I'm just going to go through here real quickly with menu, keyer, edit set, CW key set. I'm going to go with key type, and I'm going to go paddle. Okay? We'll come back to this again, and then we'll go on back to where we were. Now we're going to set the key speed here. We can do the same thing. Push on the multi, go up to key speed here, and as I vary this, now I would suggest for casual conversations, you might want to try about 15 words a minute. You can take it up to 20. I usually leave it set about 15, but that's entirely up to you. That's an operator type of a thing. Chart number 3, break-in. Break-in is an interesting feature. Now, what this means basically is if you can push the key down, and it will cause the radio to go into transmit and send that tone. There's 3 different ways of doing that. And it's easier to show them. It says full break-in mode, semi-break-in mode. There's also a no break-in mode. Semi-break-in means when you transmit, there's a little delay before it goes back to receive. So if you like to be able to transmit your characters without noise from the radio interrupting you, use semi-break-in. And you can set the delay in here. Now, if you want to go full break-in mode, that means as soon as you let up on the key, the receiver instantly goes back to receive. So you can hear the other person interrupting you and so on. Let's talk a little bit about break-in. With no break-in, you must toggle to transmit before keying. That's the button that says transmit. And then again after you are done sending, which returns the radio to receive. Semi-break-in, as soon as you touch the key, the radio enters transmit mode. It returns to receive mode automatically after a predefined time. This gives you silence from the radio between your dits and dots, which can be nice if the other thing distracts you. After you cease keying, the radio goes to receive. Full break-in is the opposite. I remember when I was a new novice, the radio I got, the HW16, was full break-in, and that's all you could do. And it was a little disconcerting at first, but I finally got used to it. Now when I do CW, I go to semi-break-in. Okay, we're going to go to the break-in function now. For that we need CW mode, okay? And the break-in key is located over here. In voice, it's the voice-operated relay. Otherwise, it's break-in. Now, you will note here that there are full break-in. This is right here. Full break-in, no break-in, and just regular break-in, okay? Now, the book talks about 2 of those, but I want to talk about 3 of those. Real antenna, let's go way down here where nobody's using it. Okay, and do a test. Now note that as I hold this down, I don't hear in between the dits and dots. Now if I go full break-in, which is another punch here, see, I hear the receiver all in between all of those. Now, I want to show you another different kind of break-in. Let's turn it to 0 break-in, okay? I can touch the key, but there is no signal put out. So if I can use this for code practice, by the way. If I want to actually transmit, I have to use one of the break-ins. Or I can hit the transmit key. Now, it's in transmit mode, but it's not sending anything. Now it is. Okay, and then you can turn transmit off. That's the different modes of break-in. Chart number 4, CW auto tuning function. If you have a signal coming in, you tune it to about where you think it might be the same as your side tone. You push the button and it will actually tune the receiver until that incoming frequency actually does match your offset frequency in here too. And it's very nice, it will do it. Now there are some notes here that it won't always work. You need a fairly strong signal for that to work. The CW auto tuning function, let's find a CW signal. Okay, push auto tune. And that is the same tone if we sent to them. See, I just threw a dot in there and it was exactly the same tone. So this function matches the tone. Now it doesn't always work if there are multiple signals or they're faint or something like that, but in many, many cases it can help you. Chart number 5, CW reverse. Now normally you receive a CW in lower sideband by default. That means if you look down here, here is the desired signal and the BFO is set above it so that the difference here is equal to your CW offset. The desired signal is listed as a frequency. That's the actual frequency of the desired signal. Now, it is possible to play games with the filters here to push an interfering signal outside. I've never used this function, but it is there for you. Now, let's talk about CW reverse a little bit. The normal is lower sideband. So as we tune in a signal going in this direction, it starts low and comes up. Or if we tune down, it starts high and goes down. Now we can change that, okay? So the way that we do that is we use menu, set, function, okay, CW normal side, or you can do it the other way. Okay, now let's get out of there, go back here. Now as I go up, the tones come down because I'm hearing upper sideband. And as I move that BFO down there, you see that the signals go the other way. Just about every CW operator has a preferred way of doing this. My preferred way of doing this is the normal way, okay? CW normal sideband, lower sideband, okay? And that way you tune in the signals and you can come up at them or come down at them, okay? Now note that this is completely independent of the single sideband, which uses upper sideband on this particular band. The CW uses the lower sideband. Chart 6, electronic keyer function. This is a chart that shows all the different ways you can set up your electronic keyer. This means that you have paddles and they're connected properly. You open the keyer in the CW mode, menu, keyer, okay? Touch edit set, opens the edit set screen, and you've got an edit set right there, okay? So you come down here and you can exit that, go into CW key set, which gives you all your various functions. You can come up with some more sophisticated stuff for contesting where the radio will automatically keep track of which number you're using. And you can also directly edit the keyer memory. The nice thing about this is you can push a single button and have it send in here, CQ contest, CQ contest. It says DE ICOM, but you would put in your own call sign. And then you exit that and you get back to here. Okay, we go to menu down here, to keyer. Okay, and we touch edit set over here. Now we're going to set the type of key here. And so we do CW key set, key type, paddle. Okay, now you can change that to bug or straight. Now since the bug acts a lot like a straight key electronically, I'd go either with the straight key or with the paddle. Okay, now let's do a little bit more on this. Edit set opens the edit set screen. Okay, we're going to edit. Now this gives us all of our memories. Now we can change this if we want. We can go to QRZKE0OG. Let's do that. Now if we want, we can edit this and we can put the cursor over here and put a K in at the end. Okay, QRZKE0K, and then you press enter and it takes you back to that. If you edit it again, notice that you've got numbers and a few symbols, and it tells you in the owner's manual what these symbols are. We know what a question mark is. A slash is like if you're going to go KE0OG/6 if I'm operating in California. So there are a period, comma, and so on. There are not a lot of pro signs here, but there are some, and these are the symbols that it allows. Okay, now we go enter to get out of that. We have changed that, and so now we can go back all the way to here, and we note when we send right there, and it puts the K at the end. Chart number 7, monitoring the CW side tone. Now the CW side tone, if you did it right, will be at exactly the same frequency as the frequency of the signal that you're working. There is a level for that, a key or edit set, CW key set, side tone level. You can turn that side tone level up or down. I like it to where it's loud enough to really hear. I don't want it something way in the background. Monitoring the CW side tone, we go to menu, keyer, edit set. Okay, and we go to CW key set, side tone level, and we use the multi-knob to change that to see if we want more, or we can just do it from here to some degree. There we go. And it's 50% is the normal. And this is if you want the side tone level a little bit louder. Now the side tone level limit will come too soon. Chart 8A. Now I mentioned the keyer memories. This is how to use the memory keyer. You bring this up by doing the menu and then keyer, and if you push transmit, the transmit status indicator lights red. If you want to turn on the break-in function, you certainly can. You select the one you want and you just press it once, okay? And it will send out, you can see it right here, what it's sending out. So you can tell what's going on. Now, interestingly, I should point out that this feature functions not only for CW, but also RTTY and voice. It can record a little voice spiel like your call sign or whatever, or a CQ. Okay, to stop sending, if you have to, just push edit over here. Let's continue a little bit with the memory keyer. You can actually go up to 8 memories, 5, 6, 7, and 8. However, only 4 of these are available to an outside accessory that plugs into the ICOM that you can use to send these, whether you're in this particular screen or not, which is very nice. By the way, the -1 is if your count got too high, you can bring it back down to what it should be. One last chart on the memory keyer continued. Here are the preset signals on this. QRZ means who is calling me. CQ contest is sometimes shortened to CQ test. Dot, dit, dot. It's a very nice sound in Morse code, okay? Now, there are other memories that you can use. If you want to use the memory keyer, you can go to menu, keyer, and here are your memories right there. Okay, to send, you don't have to do anything fancy. You do have to be in one of the break-in modes, but you can just press a button. Okay, so you get the idea. Now there is a little gadget that I want to show you. This gadget right here is a contest console for ICOM by SOTAbeams. And this plugs in right into the microphone jack. And then there's a microphone jack on the back to which you plug in the regular microphone. And then note what happens. On the radio, this is all we've got showing. Let's press memory 3. And notice that that transmits without having to go into the memories. A lot of people find this a little bit more convenient. I did a separate video on this some time ago. And you can press the key again to make it stop. I just want to go into those again. We'll go into the keyer. Now, you'll notice this one right here, M2. Okay, now, that was very interesting. Let's go into the edit set right here. We're going to edit, and we're going to edit 2. And note that that BK came across as 2 letters. And I'm going to come up right next to the BK, okay? And I'm going to insert a symbol. It's going to be the caret. And clear that. There we go. Okay, now let's press enter. And we're going to go back and back. And now let's use this one and see what happened. We got the caret in front of BK, so we want to see if that actually causes the pro sign BK to be sent. Yes, it does. Absolutely. Da 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 is BK with a line over the top of it, which is called a pro sign. If you want to edit the memories, we go to chart 9A, keyer memory edit. You go into the edit menu, okay, that was on this previous chart. I'll show you here. Down here is the edit set, okay. Go into that edit menu, and you've got M1, M2, M3, M4, okay. And if you scroll down, M5, M6, M7, and M8. You can pick one, click on edit. You can clear it all if you want to. And then when you have done that, we go to chart 9B. You can enter what you want. And notice it gives you a little QWERTY keyboard so that you can enter things the way you want. And you've got a backspace. You can add an @ or a slash. You can go here, right here, between numbers and letters. You can enter a symbol. There are some Morse code symbols, like a question mark and so on. You can clear it all. If you enter it, you're done, okay? And it puts it in there. QSL, DEJA3YUA test, okay? Now to close the keyer screen, it says push exit several times, a few. Now here are your characters with misspelled alphabets here. Your normal alphabet. Remember, Morse code does not distinguish between upper and lower case, nor does RTTY. Here are the symbols that you can use, and here it tells you how to use them. So, for example, if you put the caret in there, it means to send a string of characters with no intercharacter space. So you would put a caret before a text string such as AR. And then the string AR is sent with no space. So instead of da-da-dit, it would go da-da-da-da-dit, which is the actual pro sign for end of transmission. You can put an asterisk in there to insert the CW contest number. It automatically advances by 1 every time you use it, okay? Now, this is used in memory keyer M2 by default, which you can see right here over on this part. It's got the 001 in it. What's actually in there is just an asterisk, okay? Let's take a look again at that contest number menu. The contest number menu, or sometimes called the 001 set, you can preset this to whatever you may want. You may be coming back after lunch and have to reset it to, say, 572 or something. Now, there's something called the options for contest numbers, and those are these right here. Okay? So, let's take a look at them on this chart. The number style, select normal. 190 equals ANO, 190 equals ANT, 90 equals NO, or 90 equals IT. Let's see what these mean. If you select any one of these styles, it changes the normal Morse 1 and 9 and 0 to A, N, and the letter O, respectively. These are called cut numbers sometimes. Changes normal Morse 1, 9, and 0 to A, N, and T. You'll see this and this fairly often. Changes a 9 to N and a 0 to an O, or changes the 9 to an N and the 0 to a T. An example that you hear in CW conversations a lot is 599 will be put out as 5NN instead of 599. An N is da dit, a 9 is da 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 dit, and you can see that you can save quite a bit of time doing this. Okay, so we go into, again, Keyer, Edit Set, and we're going to go to this 001 set. Numbering style can be normal. Okay, so we have these other choices right here, and I show what those are, just showed you what those are. Let's go back to normal. The count up trigger, it's M2. The present number that we're on is 4. We can take that back down to 1 again, because I haven't actually been contesting. So you can adjust that number. So like if you go away from a contest for a couple hours, come back, you can set that number where you want it. Let's take a look at 11A at some of the miscellaneous Keyer set options. The Keyer set menu, go to Set, Keyer Edit Set, CW Key Set, okay? You can set the side tone level, which we saw before. You rotate the multi-button and then push it in to set it. Same with these others here. Keyer repeat time. For example, if you've got the thing set up to call CQ and nobody answers, it can repeat. And here is the ratio between dots and dashes. Now this is something that's important. This gives you an example of setting the side tone level. Chart 11B, options for Keyer setting. The side tone level, option 50%. The level limit, this disables the CW side tone. When you rotate AF or RF squelch, the inner, the AF above the side tone level, it will limit it. Keyer repeat time, you can put that in there anywhere you want. Now the dot dash ratio, your default is 1 for dot, 1 for space, and 3 for dash, and another 3 for dash with a 1 for the space. You can change this anywhere from 2.8 to 4.1. Now this would make this dash only 2.8 times as long as the dit, or you can take it out to 4.5 times. Now, I have noticed with my own manual sending that the range actually is about 1 to 6 in my setting. No wonder people find my code easy to copy. But the standard is 1 and 3. There are more options for the Keyer, and I'd like to take just a moment on this. This is the rise time. So 0, you press the key, there's a rise time to get to full transmit power, and then out you go. This can be 2, 4, 6, or 8 milliseconds, with the number 4 being the standard, okay? If you set it to 2, your code can become very choppy and possibly even create key clicks. 4 is normal. 6 stretches it out a bit and makes your code a little softer. Some people prefer to receive it that way. I do not. 8 milliseconds can make the code sound downright mushy, sort of rather than dit, okay? The paddle polarity is there in case somebody's given you a paddle or wants to use theirs, and the wiring is set opposite what the ICOM seems to be. The key type, straight, bug, or paddle. Now, a bug actually sends code as though it were a straight key, so I'm not quite sure what this has done. I haven't tried it yet. Now here's a weird one, and this can come if you're out somewhere and you've got your microphone, don't have a key, and can only use key. You can use the up and down buttons as a CW key, okay? The up and down keys do not work as a squeeze key. When on is selected, you cannot change the frequency in the memory channels using the up-down keys. So this would be a last resort. And it gives you a little tip for getting back to your original settings. So let's go to the keyer set menu here, and we're going to do edit set, okay, and then CW key set. And we have the side tone level, also a side tone level limit. If we've got the volume turned way up, we don't want the side tone to blast us out of the house. This will limit it. The keyer repeat time is how often you want a memo to repeat. So you can call CQ, CQ, CQ with a few seconds in between, whatever number works for you. And then as you're listening, you will hear what's going on. Now, I also told you about the dot dash ratio. 1:1:3 is standard, okay? If you want your code to be a little bit easier to read, you can change that. 3.1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 4. You can change that to 4. Or just leave it where it was, which is standard. Because this summarizes what's in the full manual for CW settings. So there you have it. I hope that gives you a good idea just how capable a radio that the 7300 is for CW. It will do lots and lots of things. It's a very modern radio, has lots of modern features, and I hope you enjoy it wherever that 7300 may be in the world. So thank you so much for sending me your questions. Thank you so much for your financial support of this channel. If you'd like to help support this channel, just join. On the YouTube page, right under where the video is, there's a button marked Join. And you can do that at any level you want to. So, there you have it. Until we next meet, 73.